What's up, Fankers?
Hello, Fankers.
How is everybody doing?
How are you doing? This was a big week, baby. This was a big week. People are not happy. Max Verstappen is not happy. Lewis Hamilton is not happy. The Aston Martin organization is not happy. But you know who's going to be happy? Vanka Nation's going to be happy because we're bringing you everything from Bahrain, testing, everything from Max Verstappen's wild quotes to Lando Norris's sassy retorts to Aston Martin being 44 kgs overweight, maybe 4 or 5 seconds down. Adrian Newey, fraud watch much? But before we get into that, Vanka's, it's time to join the Patreon. If you've been circling it, come on, baby, jump in. The water is warm. We just did a 2-part episode about heated rivalry. We're going to have so many episodes coming for you this year. At least 2 episodes per month. $5 gets you that. $10 gets you that. Plus access to our Discord, live streams with Matt and I, and a newsletter. And then $50, you want to be a daddy of the pod, baby. You know, be our benefactor. But join that, link in the description. But let's get to it.
Also, as Gunther would say, subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Subscribe. Okay. Business done. Let's now get to the real business. These 2026 cars are on the tracks. And Max Verstappen is making immediate headlines. This was his quote after driving these cars. Quote, as a driver, the feeling is not very Formula One-like. It feels a bit more like Formula E on steroids. As a pure driver, I'm pure. I enjoy driving flat out, and at the moment, you cannot drive like that. There's a lot going on. A lot of what you do as a driver in terms of inputs and has a massive effect on the energy side of things. For me, that's just not Formula One.
Yeah.
Shots fired, dude. Shots fired. I mean, you kind of called aspects of this. You said that these 2026 regs were going to be a fucking mess and that there was too much going on. And now Max Verstappen is coming in hot with these quotes. What are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts? I think F1, you know, they wanted to bring in the OEMs. They wanted to bring in the big manufacturers, keep the Mercedes, keep the Ferraris, keep bring in Audi. Audi was a big fish for them. Right. Bring in Audi so they could say, you know, look at all these name brands we have in here. We've got Ferrari, we've got Audi, we've got Mercedes. That was what they wanted. That's the good, right?
Right.
But on the other side, you might lose the best driver in the world. I think if you ask a lot of fans, what would you rather have right now? Audi or Max Verstappen? I think really quickly, I think the 99.99999999999 are going to say they want Max Verstappen in the sport more than they give a fuck about Audi that's going to finish in 9th probably or 10th. Or probably 11th, let's be honest, for the foreseeable future. I do get that, that I do understand that, like if you want a random fan off the street a random person off the street who doesn't know anything about Formula One, right? They don't know what Haas is. They're not going to know what, they wouldn't know what Williams is, right? But they're going to know, Audi is, you know, Mercedes, like if you're going to try to pull in new people, I kind of get that. And if you look at like IndyCar, like nobody knows what Chip Ganassi is. Like it's if you know racing, you know that's a dynasty. So I understand the name recognition there, but I mean, to the people currently engaged, I mean, you'd much rather have Max. That's a real danger that he leaves. And this is what I was thinking the other day.
Yeah.
I thought about this a lot. I was laying in bed at night thinking about this. Mm-hmm. Max, you have a real danger here because Max Verstappen is like Ilya Rozanov, right? Technically, he's bi,
Okay. Yep.
He'll fuck women.
He's not bi, dude. That motherfucker's poly. This motherfucker is out here fucking.
No, but wait, let me finish. Okay. He's bi.
Yeah.
Correct my take. Let me finish the take, and then you tell me.
Yeah.
Then you can edit it. Okay. He's bi right now.
Yes.
But when he comes, he's thinking about fucking Shane Hollander in the form of the Nordschleife.
Right.
In the form of simming. That's his love right now.
Right.
And if the Rose, I mean, now I'm mixing my metaphors within heated rivalry, but if the Rose Landry that is F1 is going to start getting annoying, if his girlfriend, if his like beard that is fucking Formula One is going to start fucking annoying him, he's going to go to the thing that he loves, which is fucking simming all day. Nordschleife all day, GT3 all day, because that's what he truly loves. The purest, no politics, no drive to survive, no nothing. Like he doesn't care about it, and it's all bull. So the second you start putting all this extra stuff on it, I think when push comes to shove, he might just say, you know what, Senna talks about this, the joy of karting, right? Just person against person. None of all the stuff with the FIA and all that mishigas with we got to make the fans happy. We got to make the constructors happy. He doesn't give a fuck about any of that, right?
Right.
I think the more that comes into play, that's why he likes simming. That's why he likes GT3, because it's the closest you're going to get to that platonic ideal of racing.
Right. Yes. To clarify what the issues that people are having are, there's all these new deployments. I think the battery, there's a lot of talk about that. This regulation is all going to be about conserving energy. Where are you charging up your battery? Now the batteries are 50% of these engines, so you need these batteries to be charged the fuck up. Otherwise, you're going to be left behind. There's talk about them, lifting and coasting on the straights. There's talk about them slowing down on the straights to charge their battery. So you might have people passing, if you choose to not charge on the straights, you might have people passing 4 or 5 people. So there's going to be all these other games. He doesn't view that as pure racing. Obviously, yes. I was saying that he's poly because, I mean, he fuck any piece of equipment. You know what I mean?
That's
sim racing, GT3, Formula One, go-karting. He'll do it. I mean, he's out here, he's just in it for the love of the fuck. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, no, but for sure, and he's even talked about it. I mean, how many times has Max Verstappen hinted that he's I don't need to be here. I don't necessarily want to be here. I don't necessarily need to be here, blah, blah, blah. Now, I take these comments with somewhat of a grain of salt, because we've heard Max Verstappen say wild shit before and then change his tune. Look no further than all the comments he made about the Las Vegas Grand Prix. This isn't even a race. This is just for this is more marketing. This race is gonna suck. Fuck this race. Then he wins this race and he's singing Viva Las Vegas on the fucking podium. So I think if this reg set includes Max Verstappen winning Formula One championships, I think he might change his tune, or at least not really be talking about it anymore. And it's looking like that we'll get into it, but off of this testing, Red Bull is looking pretty strong. Unclear whether Red Bull is actually looking strong or whether Mercedes is sandbagging, but there is talk about that the Red Bull engine is the best engine on the grid. And maybe Max Verstappen, Toto Wolff said that he's the benchmark right now. George Russell has been saying that he's the benchmark. Now, that might be them sandbagging, and we'll get into that in a second. But, change. People don't like change. And I'm not going to just, already throw these engine regs, completely, well, this is just going to be bad. Maybe they don't like it right now, but, if the racing is decent, then I don't know if I'll care. And they might not like it right now, but we'll see how it actually, performs on track, I guess is my thought.
I think the thing that Max thinks is anti F1 is I think the way the platonic ideal for him with racing is,
Right.
whoever's got bigger balls
Right.
on the brakes into a
Yes, of
corner
course.
is going to get the overtake done.
Of course.
Whereas now it's whoever is savvier, whoever's going to conserve, whoever is more economical with their battery deployments is going to get it done, which to him is sort of antithetical to alpha fucking racing. And which ironically, I think Jenny points out lower lap time was saying he thinks he's going to be good at it. Right.
Right.
And I think what's interesting is that's true to some extent. I think, especially, I think that's true. I think Max is right to some extent, but I think if you look through the history, I think it's almost like when you watch a movie, especially like if you watch a period piece, right? A lot of times you could see the period piece is like as indicative of like the time that it was made. Right. Like, oh, this Old West movie that was made in the 70s is actually like a treatise on Vietnam. You can just tell, right? And I think what's interesting about Formula One is like you can almost see, based on the era, sort of what it's reflecting in our society, which I think is kind of interesting because, in the 90s, it was like, oh my God, computers are coming around. Like it was all about traction control. Like, look how fucking cool these computers are. And everyone was like freaking out because it was like, oh my God, a computer, like you could just do this thing flat out. We had these launches off the line that it was like all about computers. And I think, and back in the old days, in the 40s and the 50s, the best driver wasn't always the fastest. It was the guy who knew how to like fucking milk that thing to the end of the race, right? Fangio, that was his skill. He came up as a mechanic, right? He wasn't necessarily always the fastest, but he knew how to. So he wasn't necessarily the bravest driver. He wasn't necessarily the platonic ideal of a guy like he just finished the fucking most races. He was fast, but he also could fucking finish. So it wasn't like the platonic ideal has shifted. And I think now in the age of like, oh my God, is this planet dying? Are we concerned? Are we just sucking the fucking juice out of this? Are we sucking is this thing going to be an orange that we're just sucking all the fucking pulp out of? Yeah. I think that could be now we're turning into the 21st century version of because now all of us human beings are thinking about how do we leave the smallest carbon footprint, right? How do we do more with less energy? So it's almost like a reflection of our society in some way. It's like, how do we get to the finish line the fastest with the least amount of energy? So it might be, so the paradigm shifts all the time,
Well, yeah, it's also like Max has never driven in Formula One when there was refueling.
Yeah, exactly.
And like there was an entire period, there were decades where fuel conservation and how you use your fuel and X, Y, and Z were a huge part of a factor that drivers had to deal with. Also, I don't know. I just feel like
they do it in IndyCar currently.
They do it in IndyCar currently. I mean, like I get it. It's new. It's not like exactly what Max would like, but I don't know. This guy's like. This guy never likes anything that happens that they ever do, and until he's winning. And we'll see. If he starts winning and he starts getting off on the like, okay, yeah, this wasn't my platonic ideal of racing, but now he might find some competitive thrill in, I'm going to conserve here to get them there. He might enjoy the kind of back and forth of that. I just leave room for if Max starts winning races for him to not be talking about this shit anymore.
Of course, but he was bitching about the sprint races when he was winning. You know what I mean? He was bitching. He was bitching about all this shit while he was fucking winning by 1,000 miles. So I don't necessarily think that winning and him not bitching are mutually exclusive.
Sure.
I think he will reserve the right to, as a bitcher and moaner myself. I think he'll reserve the right to bitch whenever the fuck he wants. Right. I'm trying to give the positive. The positives are, that this might work. The platonic ideals of racing have shifted with time. It hasn't always been about racing as like who wins the races has changed through time. Who succeeds has changed throughout time. So this might be the new era because we're except for the Environmental Protection Agency, everyone else has sort of realized that, we have to think about our planet. Whether or not that should be applicable to F1 to me is a little bit suspect. It's like, okay, we're going to do all these green initiatives as we race
that's
from
hollow as
petro
fuck.
state to fucking petro state. What?
I mean, that's completely hollow.
So that to me rings a little false, but I understand it. But I do think like this whole road relevance thing is weird. Like, okay, so like, is it like, oh yeah, I remember every time I merge onto the freeway, I have to actually slow down to charge and then go. Like, is that road relevant? There's this whole thing about the start where like they might have to like sit there for 10 seconds. Like, because if you so basically for those of you who don't know, like these cars have to like rev up like a fucking Falcon punch before they fucking go.
Yeah, they're just like,
Falcon
wait a
punch. Right. So they have to do that, and that's okay for the cars that get there first.
Right.
But if you're last, because once the last car gets there, then they just start. So they've been arguing that the cars that get there last, that's when they should start it. But the cars in the front are like, fuck that, because their tires are already getting cold. And also I think Fred Vasseur or some of the other guys have like the guys close to the front have like found fixes for that. So so that's the other thing that's the problem, right? Is that's why some of the shit never gets fixed, is because like because some guys have figured this problem out, and they have a competitive advantage. They don't care how horrible the sport is. They just want to win.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, of course.
So they don't fuck the fans.
That's what's kind of fun about this era. That's kind of what's fun about this era right now. The board has been completely reset. I mean, people are bringing different aero packages. Like, these cars look drastically different. They're doing all kinds of different shit. And so you're right. So there's been talk about like, okay, if this is still an issue, do we get to the start finish line and then wait 10 seconds for everyone to get their Falcon punch ready to go? And also, we've watched in the past though, it's like the person on pole, the top three sometimes are actually, they always talk about like they're kind of fucked potentially because they've been there for so long and their tires are getting cold now. Which gives an advantage to, whoever's in last place. The guys in the back. Nico Hulkenberg, who can go from last to having a podium, but regardless.
Right, but then if you're in the back, then you want to go real slow.
Right, exactly.
So it's a fucking disaster. It's a fucking disaster.
Now it's now the people in the back might be that much more fucked. And so that's I saw Sam Collins was kind of doing reporting, and you watch them do these practice starts out of the pit lane. You just watch them sit there as the engine just like they're like in a Fast and Furious movie, like showing off like how big their dick is, like like before
as the light, they're waiting at the red light, and they're
waiting at the red light, like but it's not cool. That's the thing. It's just not cool. They're just like, fuck, like this car is gonna suck unless I rev it for 15 seconds in order to get a decent start. So, I mean, Australia is going to be chaos. Australia is going to be absolute fucking chaos with these starts, with these engines. Engines are crapping out. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if like 10 cars don't finish Australia.
It's entirely possible, and that's the other, to some extent it's cool, right? It's like in basketball, if every few years they're like, all right, the rim is 8 feet now, the 3-point line is 5 feet closer. Like and then it's like, oh my God, now Wemby is like been neutralized. He can't. He's not as good at the. I mean, that wouldn't happen no matter what the height was. I don't think. Yeah. But you know what I mean. So that's like kind of the fun thing about the sport. But the problem is I think. Half the time, what's annoying is it feels like we get to a better version. Is every time they shake it up, the racing gets worse, and then it converges, and the racing gets better, and then they shake it up, and they don't learn. They take some pieces, like they learn some things, like they were like, oh, okay, like the cars were too big, so they made the cars smaller, and you're like, okay, that's good, but then the engine seems like
Right.
They might have.
But now the cars are smaller, and all these cars are fucking overweight. So they're smaller, but they're all fucking, yeah. It's a trading game. But you were talking about like the engines converging, and at the end of the reg set, this was the closest that we had seen in terms of like qualifying times being within 1 second, right? Like 1 second delta between pole and 20th place. Now it's looking like people are talking about that there might be a 4 or 5 second delta in qualifying. That in qualifying, the Aston Martin organization, because let's do it, let's talk about it. Aston Martin has laid down a fucking turd in Bahrain. They are overweight. The gearbox, it's their first time making their own gearbox. The gearbox is fucked. Apparently, they have to turn down the engine, otherwise it's going to destroy the gearbox. And the result of this, they got the least amount of running done while in Bahrain, and they are saying that they are 4 or 5 seconds off the pace.
Alonso's 4-5 seconds from fighting, and in 3-4 days. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I think Newey he always does these radical designs. I think we've seen this before.
Yeah.
There's always reliability issues.
Yeah.
And that's happened with him. He's had a few duds in his career for sure. Right. Not recently, but it's happened. So who knows if this is a dud or something that's like gonna come into itself.
Right.
But yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
It's about as bad as it could possibly be. It's about as bad as it could possibly be, especially considering that they have they have this state-of-the-art facility in Silverstone. They've got their own fucking wind tunnel. Lawrence Stroll's been pouring billions and billions of dollars into this thing. They bring in the most high-profile guy in the entire design world of Formula One. He comes in. He's team principal, which I was saying, I don't know if this is the best idea. Let him do the job that he's built to do, and let a team principal do the other shit. This feels, and they didn't bring a new car last year. I'm pretty sure they brought their 2024 car into 2025. All of their sites were on 2026. This is another example of one of these, like, we didn't even do shit last year because all we were thinking about is 2026. And they're overweight. The gearbox is fucked. The engine is what it is, and this radical aero design doesn't seem to be, filling in whatever gap that there is. It's hugely, hugely, hugely embarrassing for everyone involved.
And Honda is probably staring at Alonso like a hawk. Like just watching him.
You thought it was a GP2 engine. Just wait till you see, till you're 4 seconds down a lap.
But they're probably just watching him like, don't say shit. Like, what's the the Dexter meme? The meme where he's just always staring at him. Like, don't you fucking I know who you are. I know what you want to say.
Right.
But I fucking anyway, that's like one of my favorite memes. But fuck.
I mean, it's a mess. I mean, what a fucthe mess this is.
Yeah.
And you can't even blame your number one scapegoat, Lance Stroll. I mean, you don't even have that as an excuse. It's the. I mean, if this is true, if they're 4 or 5 seconds behind they're gonna get like lapped 4 times during the race. They're gonna be like 3 laps down.
By the way, if that is the most absurd thing that happens in the regulations set, I'm all for that. I'm all for like somebody being humiliated. That's okay.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm sad that it's Alonso.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, he's going to be incredible on the radio. Yeah. I mean, there will be. I mean, he will be. Yeah, GP2 engine. I don't even know what he's going to say. He's going to call that thing a fucking lawnmower or something. Mm-hmm. It's going to be crazy. I mean, yeah, he's gonna. I'm scared. He has a samurai tattoo on his back. He might want to get that thing removed by the time he's done, because he's going to be done with his love of Japanese culture is probably going to be subsiding by the end of this year.
It will be sad if this is like ultimately the last, year or two that Fernando Alonso gets in Formula One and it's driving a car that's 5 seconds off the pace. Seemingly, they'll be able to figure some of this out if they figure out the gearbox and if they figure out their weight. I think that will solve a lot of their problems. Reports are that they're, turning down the engine because the gearbox can't handle the power that's coming through. But when you look at Honda. When you look at Honda in Formula One,
and they're in and they're out. They had the best setup with Red Bull,
right?
And they decided they were out,
right?
And then they're like, "Oh wait, we actually want to be back in with Aston Martin." What?
Right.
Honestly, and now Red Bull's looking strong.
Mm-hmm.
Red Bull's looking strong with the training wheels. They had the training wheels that Honda gave them. Like Honda taught them how to do everything.
Right.
And now Red Bull's looking strong and Honda is looking shit. What are you doing?
It's crazy.
But
look at their history. It's like they're winning championships with McLaren in the 90s. They're like the most iconic cars in Formula One. Those Marlboro McLarens, Senna, Prost, championships, Suzuka, Honda, they're either there or they're having their own team
engine.
going big.
Oh yeah.
Well, they have their own team. They sell it for £1 to Braun, who then goes and wins the fucking championship next year, becomes Mercedes. Or they're back with McLaren with Alonso GP2 engine. This is a mess. They McLaren's legacy in the toilet with when they bring back the partnership, and then they're out again. They come back. They're with Red Bull. They win 4 championships with Max Verstappen. Now they're not with Red Bull. They're back in the fucking gutter. I mean, these guys. It's like it's the highest highs and the lowest lows.
Yeah, it's they always they seem to sell right before a huge upswing.
Yeah.
And buy right at a crash.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a real fuck up on their part.
Right.
They should be really feeling silly. Ford are probably feeling like geniuses. I think, I don't know what Ford did with the engine, but our friend Daddy Muhammad, who's very smart, he was telling me that they have really good battery tech. And the battery it's not just like, because the ICE is like the combustion engine is like really important, obviously, but is obviously an element, but the battery is like with the deployment of the battery and is really going to be crucial. And I think that's going to be an X factor. And I think he was telling me that Mercedes has a Chinese battery that they use, and Chinese batteries are really good. And I think Ford has a pretty good freaking battery, and the battery tech is really like kind of the hidden, the X factor here, because it's like who can do the deployments and shit.
Right. Well, this is what you were asking earlier. It's like, how is it why is this road relevant? Like, you just answered that question right there. It's like, if Ford has a good EV, if Ford has effective, electrical deployment and they're like, our electric cars, our electric batteries are more effective than whoever's next to me, then, right there, it's like, I want to buy a Ford electric car. Like, you just said that, and in my mind, I go, well, let's look at the Ford electric cars. Maybe they're fucking sick. Like, there's the business component of it right there.
Yeah, but, I mean, I see it and I don't see it. There's like 2 ways to look at it, right? I mean, it's a sport that people love, if relevance was the most important thing, right, then the Kentucky Derby would be raced by the Formula One cars, right?
Sure.
But then again, the Kentucky Derby, then you also, the counter argument to that argument, right, is that the Kentucky Derby is not as big as it used to be because the horse is not the fastest way to get around anymore. So that's the counter, right? It's tough. I mean, I'm not smart enough to know like how how much of this technology that they're using is like box checky and how much of it is actually like moving the ball forward. Like how much of it is like, oh, look how much we learned and applied, you know,
I don't
it's
know
gonna,
if I don't trust that it's necessarily that. I think it's more of a, you know, it's like when Honda was winning those championships. When Honda was with Formula One, I thought to myself, I want a Honda Fit. Let me go buy like Honda.
Yeah.
I never knew you had. I wasn't familiar with your game,
game.
Honda. You know what I mean? And I think the reality
Right.
is because these engine regs have come in. There's been a lot of talk about them because Max isn't the only one criticizing them. Okay, Lewis has come in and said that he doesn't like these new regs. Alonso's come in. He's also said that he doesn't like the new regs. There is definitely a lot of pushback as to what's happening now, and I think we'll see if the fans are. We'll see what happens with the product. It seems like the product is going to suffer in terms of just on track action. I think that like the fans might get left behind for a bit in this. I have faith that in however many years they'll be able to catch up, whatever. But I was also thinking about this because, you know, we do feel sometimes like they don't care about the fans. They don't care about the fans, and I think that's still true. I think that was true for years, for decades on decades. That this was a B2B business. This business was all B2B, and then Ecclestone brings in the TV rights. It becomes a little bit more about the fans. This can have a global reach. This can be like a globally popular sport. Then Drive to Survive happens, and now all of a sudden the fandom has actually really entered the chat. But the reality of like the amount of money that goes into these teams, the fans don't necessarily like. I just think the economics of Formula One, you're still beholden to the manufacturer. You're still beholden to the Mercedes, the Audis of the world, the
sponsors.
Hondas. You're still beholden to the sponsors because like these teams cost billions of dollars to run, and like as much as like an NFL team costs a shit ton of money to run, they make so much more money when it comes to merch sales. They make so much more money when it comes to the TV rights, and they make so much more money when it comes to just people going to the games and ticket sales. I mean, purely ticket sales. These guys don't make these teams don't. There's not the Honda race that they do 15 times a year, and they get to take all the money from the Honda from their stadium. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that like. You know, we as fans, I think, get the shit end of that stick, but that's why. Yeah.
I also think, but I thought, maybe they're not as economically incentivized,
yeah.
Or to incentivize, to it's also to help to service us as much. But what's also interesting, I think, is that conventional sports, whether it's soccer, football, American football, basketball, for years, those weren't corporate sports, right? That was purely like, can we get asses in seats? Right. Can we service the fans enough to, that was purely fan service. And only recently has become this corporate Leviathan. Whether it's like now they've become really, now they've jacked up the ticket prices and screwed everybody, but they've really built an incredible product that is entertaining to watch. And they've built in decades, generations of fan buy-in where like our dad watched, our parents watched, their parents watched, like, they really have it like massive, institutional sort of, it's really seeped in.
Yeah.
Whereas like this started off as a corporate fucking exercise, a marketing exercise, and it's now like all of a sudden, holy shit, we have all these fans. This is crazy, right? And it's trying to reverse engineer fan service, and it's almost like trying to go the other way. It's going against the current. And it's just very hard. It's very hard. And they don't have generations. I mean, there are fans that are old heads, but it's a niche sport.
Right.
That is, so it's going against the current. It's trying to like service the fans like late, its stage of growth,
right?
Or in its timeline.
They're trying to turn this massive ship in a different direction. It's just like it can only go so far. It will be really interesting though. Like if there is like this is where the Max Verstappen thing. Like let's say this reg set is just a fucking mess, and then like Max Verstappen leaves. Do they look at this a little bit more closely? Do they say like, okay, like what's the cost benefit analysis of this thing if the product on track gets worse, people lose interest, and then our stars start to fucking jump ship?
The reputational damage of Max Verstappen leaving is like nothing short of catastrophic. I mean, we kind of saw it. We got a little glimpse of it, and we'll get into Lando in a bit, his response to Max, but like,
right.
We got a hint of it when Lando won the championship last year. It was just like, yeah, okay, he's not the best though, right? You know, it was, you know, he beat Max. Like Max made it close. Max made it really like if it wasn't for Max, like to sort of Max gave us at least a reference for like where Lando kind of was. We're like, oh,
right.
Lando's good, you know, Lando's very good, but look what Max is like. You know, we didn't really know. You know, we're like Max is kind of the benchmark, but it's it would be like if Muhammad Ali. Well, we saw this, right? Muhammad Ali just fucking disappears, and it's like the baddest guy on the planet, the number one guy just isn't there, and everybody else is just kind of fighting for second. It's like Jordan going to play baseball. It's
right.
You're just, but the problem is like. The whole premise is the guy who wins is the best driver in the world. This is the best drivers in the world, and if he goes to the Nordschleife or you know GT3 or now everyone knows that the best driver in the world is actually in another series.
Right.
If he goes to IndyCar, everyone knows that IndyCar actually has the best driver in the world.
Right.
Right.
They've
lost.
Yes.
They've lost. The fucking best. They've lost the title. They've lost the belt. They did this in the. What's interesting is the Monday Night Wars between WCW and the WWF. It was called. I forgot which wrestler did this, but he took the belt like because he fired. I think it was Bret Hart or one of the guys. Yeah. He fired him, but he didn't give the belt up. So he like literally took his belt and like went to the other, and it was like this was a disaster because they had the fucking belt in the other series. It was like, the belt at that time had built it up. Like so, Max is like literally taking his championship belt and walking over to another series. It's crazy.
Well, it would be as if Kid Rock did the actual Super Bowl halftime, and Bad Bunny did not the Super Bowl halftime, and then everyone actually watched that one. You know what I mean?
Well, that might be what happens, right?
Well, exactly. This is because they thought they were like, no one cares about Bad Bunny, right? We're gonna watch Kid Rock. It's like no one gives a fuck about Kid Rock. Bad Bunny's the most popular artist in the fucking world. You thought you ate crumbs everywhere.
Yes.
But if Max Verstappen leaves, that's as if Bad Bunny
was the Bad Bunny in the situation. Yes.
He's Bad Bunny as if Bad Bunny was like, I'm actually going to go do a performance over here and no one watched the Super Bowl halftime. That's kind of what Max Verstappen is threatening to do because you're right. This is the pinnacle of motorsport, right? That's what they claim. This is the whole brand of Formula One, the pinnacle of motorsport, and everyone knows that Max Verstappen is the best in the biz. Everyone knows that Max Verstappen is the greatest driver in the world right now. And if he leaves, how much of that just cachet that you have, how much of your vibe and your right to say that,
the WGC becomes less meaningful. Like at least Lando, like when Lando beat Max, it's more legitimate. If you know, if Max decides today, fuck this. I'm actually not going to do this. The next week of testing, he's like, oh, you know what? Never mind. George Russell wins the championship.
Yeah.
Right. It's like everyone will go, well, you know,
yeah,
he didn't. Max wasn't in it. He beat a Maxless grid.
Right.
It becomes immediately hollow.
Right.
Lando actually had to fucking eke it out against Max in a worse car, but he still beat Max. Like,
Right.
it just, imagine if Lando didn't have to beat Max. Imagine how much less, I mean, he's already kind of slept on because Max didn't have as good a car. Could you imagine if Max just wasn't there, how little people would fucking care? It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. I mean, think about the importance of Max. Like, Max was Prometheus that brought down Lewis. Like, for a while, it was just like no one could beat Lewis. Max was the one that actually, you might hate him for 2021, but he's the one that brought that punched Mercedes in the mouth,
Right.
And like brought parity to the, I mean, then he took over, but he's the one that got us here. Because if he hadn't punched Lewis in the mouth, I don't think anyone's paying attention.
Yeah. Until Lando Norris took the crown, dude. And this is what Lando had to say. Lando said, quote, "We get paid a super amount of money to drive, so you can't really complain at the end of the day. Any driver can go find something else to do. It's not like he has to be here, or any driver has to be here." Lando on the 2026 car said they feel like more like F2 cars in some ways. You're going to see some more chaos in races. He's digging the new regs. George Russell's digging the new regs. He also took a shot at Max. Shockingly, but yeah, I mean, there's it's fascinating to see.
Lando was like, we get paid so much money, like we got nothing to complain about. I mean, that is kind of a crazy thing to say. It's like, it's the Don Draper. That's what the money is for,
right?
It's like he's like telling a fellow driver to shut up and dribble. It's kind of like a wild. That's honestly like an oligarch take. Like what? Why are you simping? Like why are you simping? Why are you siding with the fucking bourgeoisie? Like, take your money and shut up, Max. Like, why are you siding with the FIA and the manufacturers?
Yeah, I mean, I think that these McLaren and these Mercedes boys, like, they're all company men. I mean, George said something about the engine regs, and he was like, something to the effect.
He's great. He's like, it's great because Europe is getting into EVs and this, that, and the other thing. Yeah. I mean, this is a guy. You know what it is? It's a guy who doesn't have a long-term contract with Mercedes, and he's just trying. They told him this is the company line, and he's doing it. And you know what? If he can toe the company line and say, EU is all about EVs right now, and this is really great, and I'm Captain Planet and whatever the fuck. If he could do that and put a stick in Max's eye and say, actually, Mercedes is great. Our car's an F1 car. Max is an idiot. Like, if he could do those two things at once, he's gonna fucking do it. It's a great opportunity for him to like. It's a zig to Max's zag, fucking make Toto happy.
Vankas, as your hair starts to thin, as you get older, your confidence can too. And that's why Hims makes it simple to feel like yourself again with access to simple, personalized care that fits your life and your hair goals. Hims offers convenient access to a range of prescription hair loss treatments with ingredients that work, including chews, oral medications, serums, and sprays. Doctor-trusted ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil can stop further hair loss and regrow hair in as little as 3 to 6 months. You shouldn't have to go out of your way to feel like yourself again. Hims brings expert care straight to you with 100% online access to personalized treatment plans that put your goals first. No hidden fees, no surprise costs, just real personalized care on your schedule. Think of Hims as your digital front door that gets you back to your old self with simple 100% online access to trusted treatments for real health concerns all in one place. And if this is of interest to you, for simple online access to personal and affordable hair care for hair loss, ED, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/redflags. That's hims.com/redflags for your free online visit. Once again, hims.com/redflags. Featured products include compounded drug products with the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. See website for full details, restrictions, and important safety information. Individual results may vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. Let's talk about Mercedes. After Barcelona, everyone was talking about the Mercedes. This is their championship to lose. George Russell, how many fingers does he have on the championship trophy right now? Does he have one hand, almost two hands? then there's also all the drama with the engines, these ratios, these deployment efficiency, and then Bahrain comes and everything out of the Mercedes camp is like, well, we suck. Actually, we might as well not show up. Max Verstappen's really the guy to beat. Our car's trash. Our engine's trash. Don't look over here, please. Please, FIA, do not change the testing on these ratios. And they've been accused of sandbagging.
This is why I love F1, because it's like, it's basically like white collar crime in sport form. They're basically committing tax fraud. They're like, I took a $200 million loss this year. Do not fine me. Do not. Right. It's like, I remember, they found like Donald Trump's tax return. Like they got one or two returns from him.
Leaked them.
Someone leaked them. I think it was the New York Times that found them. And
he's suing the government for $10 billion for the fact that his shit got leaked.
No, but he took like the biggest loss of any individual that year. Because it was like, it's like, oh yeah, I got no money. I got no money. Don't even look over here. I suck. I'm broke. You
guys owe me money, actually.
You guys owe me money. I need a refund, right?
Yeah.
That is such a white collar behavior, and I mean, everybody does it, right? You meet with your accountant. It's like, where can I take losses? I'm actually broke. Everybody does it, right? It's like, how can I get my fucking income? How can I claim as poor as I possibly can?
Yes.
Right. Yes. So it's a universe. I mean, rich people do it better than everybody else.
Right.
So I think that, so that's just, I love the white collar behavior but it's so transparent. Like Red Bull's like, Mercedes is fucking unstoppable.
Well, this is Charles and Max have both called this out. Charles said, Mercedes have shown some very impressive things sometimes, but I would say they are hiding a lot more. It's always the same in testing. Everyone is trying to throw the ball to the other guys. Right now, everyone's like, I'm not the fastest, you're the fastest. I'm not the fastest, you're the fastest. No one's wanting to take on that pressure. Max is saying, well, I can tell you one thing. Just wait until Melbourne to see how much power they suddenly find. I already know that right now. So, I mean, they're just being called it straight out to their face. This is clearly a ploy to get the FIA off their backs.
Yes.
In terms of, I don't think the Ferrari's a threat, but I think Red Bull might actually be a real threat, especially in the hands of Max Verstappen. So we will see how much they are sandbagging. That is the belief that they are absolutely sandbagging right now, but we'll see how powerful that is, or whether Max Verstappen really is can be that thorn in their side in 2026.
I think here's what we can hope. I hope that the Red Bull is a close second, because you don't want to give Max the fastest car ever, because that's just going to be boring.
Right.
You want him making fucking miracles with the second fastest car. What you want is you want the 2020. You want the 2025 season. You want to see how fucking hard you can make it for him. You want to give him can he win with a 5 handicap? Can he win with a 6? Like, can he win 6 strokes back? Can he win 7 strokes back? How many strokes back can you put him, and he could still beat everybody else? You want Brazil, Jenny says. That's what you want. You want Brazil. Right. How many places back can you put him? And that's the most fun for the fans.
And this is where I say, like, Max. If every 2 months, Max has got a new critique about Formula 1, and he keeps threatening that he's going to retire. And on some level, I'll believe it when I see it. I just think that, like, if he's still close to winning, we were just talking about like who needs.
I don't want them to call his bluff, though. He's bluffing. Of course. I don't want to find out.
Of course, though, it would be just like, it would be iconic if he did leave. That would just be like, it would be legendary. But I just think that, like, as long as he's close to winning, he's not going anywhere. And as much as, like, yes, like, Formula One needs Max Verstappen for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we wouldn't know who the fuck Max Verstappen was if it wasn't for Formula One. So it's not like it's just a completely one-sided, and then Formula One would be nowhere without the Max Verstappen. It would hurt. It would hurt a lot. And he has now built up himself, well enough to go anywhere, and a devoted audience will follow. I mean, when he did the Nordschleife, I think like 1 million plus people were watching the live stream. They broke their fucking servers. But I still think that, if he has the ability to win another championship, I don't think he's leaving.
No, the thing that needs to happen, and this is what they do in the WWE, right? If a guy is leaving, they have him lose to somebody, right? They have him hand the belt over, right?
Right.
So Lewis Hamilton was the guy that couldn't leave, right?
Right.
Now, Max has taken the belt from him. Now, if Lewis retires, it's going to hurt, but it's not irreparable because Max has the belt now to some extent. So
that's why if you're Formula One and you see that they are. If you're Formula One and you see that Max is like actually legitimately wanting to leave, the biggest thing that you want is for Max and George to go head to head and for George to win on merit.
Yeah,
that's like
you need somebody to take the belt from him.
Yes.
Like, then it's okay. Then if somebody emerges, if Leclerc emerges, if, Bortoletto comes out of nowhere, somebody emerges that's like, oh, this is the next guy that can take the belt from him, then it's okay. But so far, nobody has like beaten him in equal machinery, right? And that's what I mean. Like Max and Lewis had roughly equal machinery, roughly.
Right. As close as you can when you're on different.
As close as you can, and he beat him. And then he went on to fucking just beat everybody. So that's what you need. You need somebody to take the fucking belt from him, and then it's almost then it's okay if he leaves. But if he just leaves with the fucking belt, it's a problem. Right. It's a fucking huge problem.
Right.
And
yeah. And so, for those reasons, I'm hoping and praying that this Mercedes and this Red Bull are like close this year. That there's like, that these two cars have something going on, because that seems to be where the power structure lies in terms of like the overall kind of power structure. From what we can tell, they seem to be at the front. Red Bull, Mercedes, McLaren seems to be a bit on the back foot. They've gotten a ton of running in. They've had the most running of any other team, but they're, in terms of the raw pace, maybe they're not there. Ferrari has had decent running. Leclerc had a fastest lap, but a lower lap time did like an analysis of how this Ferrari car is handling, and it's handling like shit. I mean, he and Lewis are both having to like recorrect 3 or 4 times going into certain corners. In terms of the balance, it seems to be a kind of a mess. So that car I don't necessarily have high hopes for. In terms of the midfield, it's looking.
Wait, can I just say before?
Yes.
Can I just say from a driving perspective, it looks like Lando might have the edge on Oscar. Like the journalists that are there are actually watching them through the corners, and it seems like the people who understand who's got a better handle on the car.
Yeah,
seems like Lando has a better understanding currently than Oscar. Oscar's having. I mean, the caveat is Oscar might be running a different setup, a different run plan, different engine. You don't know if they're running the same shit, so you don't know.
Right. I will say the vibes from the two of them, Oscar seems shook from last year. Oscar seems like...
You think it's from last year, or you think it's from these 20, like he's not
maybe both.
liking...
I mean, both. But I can't discount the mindfuck that was 2025. It should be noted that he
changed his management around a little bit.
He changed his management around. Mark Webber is no longer going to be a trackside support for Oscar. He's just going to be focused on commercial and contractual obligations. He won't be attending all the races. The race-to-race support will be done by Pedro Motas, who is Oscar's F2 race engineer. So maybe someone who understands him a little bit more, maybe is the thought behind that.
Well, from a racing perspective.
From a racing perspective, exactly. But yeah, I think he just, maybe I'm projecting, but there just seems to be like
he's very
lack
Shane
of,
Hollander. I mean, it's very. I mean, the happy Oscar and the sad Oscar is not. It's not that far apart.
Sure, but not even the happy sad, just like the confident. He just doesn't. He feels. He always seems so confident and secure. He always seems so secure.
Yeah.
And what I've been gleaming from the bits that I've seen is like a little bit of a lack of that same type of like Oscar's secure steadfastness. And maybe it's a combination of things. Maybe he's not getting along with these new regs. There's a lot going on, so maybe he's having a little bit of trouble like getting comfortable there. But you can't discount that. At the end of the day, like last season went the way that it went. So that's an interesting kind of.
So yeah, maybe he hasn't necessarily gotten rid of that. He hasn't compartmentalized shaken that off exactly. They've also said that Charles seems to be getting on. People who know about driving styles, that's what they said at the race. The race was saying Charles seems to be struggling less with the car than Lewis. Yeah. Obviously Max seems to be looking more promising in that fucking Red Bull. I don't know about Antonelli and I wasn't hearing anything massively different. I think Antonelli topped the timing sheets
Antonelli topped the timing sheets on day three. He was faster than George. They split time. You have to like choose how you do things. Like, does one person have the entire day, the other person has the entire day, or do you split? So they raced on the same day. He was fastest overall. He was fastest of the entire weekend. He was of the entire week. Antonelli's time was fastest. So that'll be that'll be a very interesting wrinkle. And it'll bode well for Max Verstappen if Antonelli can throw his hat in the ring, and there could be a little bit of a papaya rule situation going on where George and Kimi are taking points off of each other, and Max can,
I don't know, man. Yeah, it's interesting because like Toto's like staked his fucking reputation on Kimi, so it'll be really interesting if Kimi has some promise. What kind of that's his Lando, right? That's his baby. Right. So that's gonna be delicious. That is a thing to watch, Brian. I think you're totally right. Yeah. Yeah, but I think but McLaren might be. I think the consensus is they're looking like fourth. They're back down to fourth. They're just I think packaging.
I think the encouraging part of the McLaren car is that they're not fast right now, but the car seems to be one that they can handle. Mm-hmm. Whereas, and then in theory, in my dumb brain, but I think this is true, you can build off of like a
stable platform,
stable platform. Whereas like,
and we've seen
Ferrari's
them, and we've seen
quick,
them do it,
but it's a fucking bitch to handle. So it's like, if you're like great, how strong is that foundation? And if McLaren has a good foundation, we've seen their ability to figure shit out and bring upgrades and get up to speed quickly.
Well, I think Ferrari's bringing a B spec or a different spec to either Bahrain or Australia. So we'll see. Like maybe they can fix it or make it improve it. But what's interesting is it seems like Haas did a lot of running.
Yes. Well, the best of in terms of the rest.
Yes.
Haas and Alpine are looking very strong.
Yes.
Haas and Alpine. Yeah. Sam Collins said that Alpine could be on the podium in Australia. And Lawrence Bretta was like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now, dude? Like that is a wild thing to say." And Sam Collins was like, "I don't think it's out of the question."
Yeah.
They brought it the most obvious for my dumb brain thing that you can see is that the Alpine have brought a different rear wing situation. That it was this whole thing. DRS, it's gone. DRS, it's gone. I'm like, it's still here. these rear wings are opening on the straights. Like I know that it's different, but the movable aero is still dumping drag on the straights, and a lot of them have that middle flap kind of popping open, whereas what the Alpine have is that the entire back of the flap just goes down. So it's not like there's no front and bottom, which they say is you lose a little bit of time in terms of the actual straight line speed, but what you make up for is when that rear wing pops back open, you have a ton more grip quickly. And so your ability to like be agile at the end when that and get back to your downforce quickly. So we'll see. It's a fast, like, this aspect of it, that all these cars look drastically different and they're all bringing different shit, is really fun and really interesting.
It's like Pokemon.
It'll be interesting to see, like, what gets adapted by everybody. You know what I mean? Because, like, in 3 years, they'll all have a similar rear wing, probably. But, like, which one will it be? Who is on the money at the start? And it seems like maybe Alpine has figured some shit out.
Well, I think Alpine and Haas have done a solid job.
Yeah.
Seems like. And it seems like, obviously, Cadillac and Audi are going to struggle, and that Williams and Aston Martin have shit the bed. And, that's where we're at. But I think Williams put in a decent amount of running. So it seems like are on their way to recovery. It seems like Williams is, all this is going to move around, but it seems like Williams is looking like 7th. Right. Which is a disaster for them considering what they wanted. Right. And then so it would be Haas and Alpine 5th, 6th, Williams 7th. Then it's kind of Aston Martin 8th,
or 10th.
Who am I forgetting?
Or 11th.
Aston Martin.
I mean, we'll see what Aston Martin can do. I mean, right now they are. I mean, it's early. We'll see if they can turn it around. But like, right now they're looking like they're going to be last.
we forgot about VCarb. What do you think they're going to be? They're harder
I think VCarb's pretty solid. I mean, they've got the same engine as Red Bull, which seems to be one of the strongest engines.
So they might be fighting for 6th.
Yeah.
So it's like Alpine, probably Alpine,
Haas,
VCarb clawing for 5th, 6th, 7th.
Yeah.
Williams 8th Williams.
Yeah.
Fuck. I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
I have to believe that. Well, actually, Cadillac 9th, Aston Martin 10th, Audi 11th. I mean, that's got to be. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, can we get the total lap? Can we get the total running? Where's the total running? Do we have that up?
Yeah, in terms of actual running that happened in Bahrain, Williams had the most laps, 415, making up for lost time. McLaren had the second most with 414. Ferrari 409, Haas 383, Audi 345, Red Bull 339, Cadillac 315, Racing Bulls 317, Alpine 311, Mercedes 280, and Aston Martin 203 laps.
I mean, that's a disaster for Aston Martin because they didn't even run that much. They barely ran in fucking Barcelona.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, the basic things that you learn in these early laps are so important. So they're going to be there's so much low-hanging fruit to learn in these early laps. So the other, it's almost like if you play these like role-playing games or you like development wheels, where you like learn about you first wheel, the first thing you learn as a civilization is fire, then you learn about the wheel, then they're still learning about the wheel. Right.
Yeah.
All these other teams are like on to like fucking geometry. Yeah. And then you just stay behind for a while.
It's such a mess.
Yeah.
It's such a mess, and it's so I mean, I said it earlier, but it's just so embarrassing given like the whole vibe. Just given the we're not here to fuck around.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, they hired Adrian Newey, and it's bad when Adrian Newey is like 70 something and he's like on his hands and knees.
Yeah.
There was a picture of him on his hands and knees, like fucking getting under there. I remember my dad, he was like 73 at the time, and he called me. He's like, a car ran over my foot.
Yeah.
And I said, what? He's like, you got to come get me. A car ran over my foot. I said, where are you? He goes, I was putting air in my tires at the 96th Street. You know, the one gas station on like 96th and First or wherever.
Oh, on the east side.
No, on the east side.
Yeah.
And I said, why are you putting your own air in your own? My dad is, and then why is his old ass? By the way, so I go and I get the video footage to try to, maybe make a claim or something. He got ran over by a Cadillac Escalade, his foot. And it was like, but it's like, why is his old crotchety ass like, you should not be bent over. Just pay somebody $20.
Right.
Crazy. Anyway. That's how desperate Adrian Newey is. He's on his hands and knees.
Yeah. It's brutal. I mean, it's tough.
And what's also weird, somebody pointed this out, that like the last two team principals, they're still there.
Right.
Like Mike Hunt, or whatever the fuck his crazy name is, Mike Crack.
Mike Crack.
Mike Crack is still there. Some other
right.
They all. It's like the fucking Shining. You never fucking leave there. They're all still there. They never left, and it's just this weird fucking situation. And
the way that I know that Drive to Survive hasn't happened. Like we're getting Drive to Survive trailer came out. We've got this upcoming season of Drive to Survive, but like already I'm salivating at the footage in the ass, if they're there, of the footage of like what's going on behind the scenes at Aston.
Oh, you're already looking forward to the next season.
I'm already looking for, because I need to see what Lawrence Stroll is like behaving like behind the scenes. Like
you know what though? Can I just say
no way he's not being absolutely insane right now.
I have I don't know if it's a hot take.
Yeah.
But it is a interesting take, I think. Or maybe not. I'll let you guys be like, why am I telling you guys it's interesting? I'll say it. You guys tell me it's an interesting take. You know what I think is really happy, who might be secretly happy right now?
Who?
Lance Stroll.
Interesting.
If they suck, if they're 4 laps down, guess who's not getting shit?
Totally.
Lance Stroll. The hottest seat he was ever in was when they were the green Red Bull, his life was never worse when Alonso was getting fucking podiums.
Yep.
That was the worst fucking stretch when it was like, holy shit, look what Alonso's doing with this fucking Aston Martin. When they suck, when they're both out of the points, nobody fucking talks about how bad Lance Stroll is. And he's not the focus.
Yeah.
Now Alonso and Stroll can be looking at Adrian Newey being like, hey, what's wrong with this fucking car? But when the car's fucking humming, it's, hey, Lance, what's wrong with you?
Right.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think as someone who's a fuck up, has been a fuck up in his life, it's always nice when somebody else is fucking up. And you're like, can you believe this guy?
Right.
Fucking guy over here.
Right.
That's awesome. That's awesome. The heat comes off of you.
I wonder if this opens the door to one Christian Horner.
Well, here's the thing. If Red Bull comes out of the box and they're pretty good and the engine's good and the battery deployment's good and everything's looking nice, I think Christian Horner is going to be the DiCaprio meme. I know that engine that's performing well. I know that program. That's my program. I built that.
Yeah.
I remember it's kind of like in college, right? Maybe this is less now because of it used to be that it was now you could transfer so quickly. But I remember a new coach would come into a college program and he would win. And they would say, well, that was with that whole guy's recruiting class. You won't actually know if that coach is good at recruiting for another 2 years. And I remember like a guy would come into Notre Dame and he would win a bunch of games, and you'd be like, yeah, but wait till his recruiting classes become sophomore, junior, senior.
Right.
And then 3 years later, his team would suck. I'd be like, oh, well, he sucks at recruiting. Get him out of here. So in terms of like, it's the same thing with Formula One, right? I think that we won't know, like Christian Horner, this regulation set, at least initially for the first 1-2 years, I think will be Christian Horner will own this. And Laurent Mekies, his ability to adapt and keep them ahead, that will be on him.
Right.
And I think that's why I was always so suspicious of Toto, because I think Braun put them in the position to be where they were I think I'll be more fair to Toto. I think Braun technologically put them where they needed to be to win in that era. But I think Toto was the one that cornered them and said, if you want to win, you got to spend money. And I think Braun was not effective in doing that. So I think Toto made them put their money up.
Right.
So I will give him that credit. I don't think Braun had because Toto put $50 million up. He put his own money up, and he was like, I'm putting my money up. You need to put your fucking money up. Right. And I think because he literally put his money where his mouth is. So that is what the one thing I will give to Toto. So yeah, I think that will make
Christian
him look
Horner,
really good.
There's been more rumors. I mean, his ties to Alpine have not. Those rumors still are out there, and he is still definitely like looking for where he's going to re-enter, if he's going to re-enter. And if this Aston Martin project is like an abject failure, which right now it looks like it's threatening to be.
Mm-hmm.
And, we criticized that Adrian Newey being team principal was not the move. If you need someone who can, right that ship, and, their stock is low right now, and they might get desperate. If they're 5 seconds down, they will get desperate.
Do you think Lawrence Stroll is going to give Christian Horner? You think Lawrence Stroll is going to sell a portion of his team? Give Christian Horner equity?
He's already given Newey equity. I think that Lawrence Stroll. Listen, Lawrence Stroll has as an 80% of a fucking shit sandwich right now. That's what I think. I think if you have an opportunity, this thing. That's why it's like. Would you rather have 100% of nothing or 75% of something? I mean, it's like this is
right. Right.
They're 5 seconds down. I mean, if they don't, they've had the least amount of running of anyone. Probably William, because they barely ran in Barcelona.
No,
they've had no running. They're 5 seconds down. The gearbox is fucked.
Right, because they make their own gearbox, and I think the engine. What's interesting is it the engine's fault? I don't really know. It might be because the packaging is so extreme.
I think this gearbox is fucking everything up, and they're overweight.
Right, but overweight is bad. But you can always, I think, trim down if the design is good. You can always lighten it and refine it. But yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, Alpine was overweight for a long time, but they also had their engine also sucked, so they were just like doubly fucked. But I think it might be the gear. Is it the gearbox that's a problem, or is it like that the engine is melting the gearbox because they have it's a cooling issue?
I think they're saying that the engine is like melting the gearbox, but I don't know who's to blame for that. I don't know if that's a faulty gearbox, if that's the fault of the engine, the fault of the cooling systems, whatever it is, it's not working. They're having to run the car on like 75% power, and the design philosophy is extremely aggressive. And you take a risk and
yeah,
it's fucking crazy. People are saying it's 15 kilograms overweight. That's the most recent assessment. That's half a second a lap.
Fuck that.
It's crazy.
Fuck that.
Australia is going to be carnage.
Carnage.
It's going to be It's going to be insane. Australia is going to be insane. I don't know. We may have never, in the post DTS era, I don't know if we'll have ever seen a disparity like we were potentially about to see in Australia.
I really wish Alonso was going to win I really was secretly pulling for him to win the championship, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Anyway, that just about does it. It's going to be a crazy year. I don't know if it'll be a good year. I don't know if it'll be a year where we'll see about there's so many balls in the air right now. Will the racing be shit? Will we understand what the fuck is even going on in the racing? How bad will some of these cars be? How close will some of these cars be? And who's going to gel with these reg sets? Who's going to hate them? And will Max Verstappen retire? These are all the questions before us as we enter the 2026 season. I am fucking bricked up, dude. Bricked up.
Yeah, guys, my girlfriend says that my new glasses suck. What do you guys think? Frameless? You think they're bad? Comment below.
Comment below, and if you really want to let Matt know, you can talk to us on our monthly live stream if you become a Patreon member at the $10 and up range. And if you really want to have a conversation with Matt about his glasses, why don't you become a daddy of the pod? Because daddies get that special attention because they're daddies. And we got to thank them because without them, we'd be nothing. Got to thank Kayla, Robin, Jordan Texera, Jay Lingle, Spencer Grieve, Javier Mera, Sheila Valeri, Chandler, Ali Santana, Carla Harlow, Kimberly Whalen, Alonso by Face 69, Donya Dana, Deadbeat Daddy Muhammad, Jimmy, Kimmy, sponsored by Mommy of the Pod, Hollister 584, Delusional Science Fan, Cat, Future Dr. Dion, Steph Grossi, Laura, Emily Gillenwater, Cody Hull is my F1 daddy, Branch W, Keep Up the Science Hate, Hunter Scruggs, Salmonella, Mozzarella, I'm a Leclerc fan, and yes, it hurts, Jay Kess, George Russell is Evil Peter Parker from Spider-Man 3, Matt Edwards is always right, I wish I was Max and Danny's love child, Delaney Andrews, Henry Caskey, Miles Lewis Alexander, Maggie B, Kaylee Breyer, Eve the Y, Devin, aka the Future Dr. Sullivan's PA, Courtney Frazier, Yuki Sonoda's other mother. Jenny is the reason I am a daddy. Megan, Aaron, Pineapple with a Y. Matt has a secret voter for Carlos Sainz. Unfortunately, it's Gary. Caroline, my name is AJ, and fuck the HOA. K-Man can fuck smash my door any day. The official F1 race program and its executive editor, Sarah. I got tickled by the Tifosi. Hey, Jet, good luck out there. Allison Sane, Zhuzh, F1 Dude Company, Trent Slickman, Code Brown Sonoda, Jerome Ferreira, Colapinto is a fraud. Aaron, Shahid, Jeans Rockstar, Chohan, who won our fantasy league for the 2 years running. Let's see if we can keep it up. We're going to have a fantasy league as part of our Patreon, so join the fantasy league. The link for that will be coming soon. Shake and bake, Catalick my balls, Say Fear, Charles Leclerc, Truth Bringer, Mama Burns, Arthur Leclerc is hotter, Car Lost Science, OP Goblin, Right Meow, James, DNCTT, Finney, Daddy Kev, Not Magnuson, Mike, Bavi, Lando Norris's unofficial girlfriend. Why do I always hawk Tua on this name, Winkin? Lizzie, Jafar from afar, Stroll paid the troll toll to get in the boys' hole, Andrew Prisco, and our newest daddy, Lily Glez, honorary daddy of the pod this week, every week, Nicole Piastri. If you want to become a daddy of the pod, go to patreon.com/TRFpod and be our benefactor today. We'll see you next week, Vankas. We love you.
Goodbye, Vankas.
Damn, I'm a boss. I'm a red flag